Hey guys, it's Destry. I'm hanging out in my Oregon yard today. I'm actually in the greenhouse because it's raining. It is a weekend in March, early March, and today I'm going to show you my progress on my seed starting situation and my little baby plants. I'm also going to be up potting a bunch of my Snapdragons today, and I'll kind of walk you through that process and also show you my sweet peas, my geraniums, all the things that I've started from seed so far and how everything's looking. So yeah, let's go ahead and get going on that. Okay, so this is my kind of indoor seed starting area, and it is kind of a mess because this is my office slash laundry room slash everything room. I do have my seed starting calendar over here, and I am behind. So I need to do Bells of Ireland, Gonfrina, and Celosia sponge sugar. That's one of the Florat ones, but you can see my seed starting calendar and what I need to start every week. And if you haven't seen that video of how I set that up, I will link it in the comments for you. And then over here I have all my grow lights, my heat mats, and you can see I have some things that I'm using just as raisers to raise it up to the light. And I'm sorry about the sound in here. I've got my washing machine going. So this week, actually probably like about a week ago, maybe not quite a week, I sowed Iceland poppies, nothing happening here, some Campanula bluebells, nothing happening here, and some black-eyed Susans. And I have a little bit of germination on the black-eyed Susans. Over here, I have these carnations. These were from Floret. This is my second attempt, and you can see I literally have one that germinated. So I don't know what was up with those seeds, but I feel like, I mean, I tried germinating them again. Here's the second tray that I tried again. You can see I have one up. Nothing in the Dark Night Scabiosa. This is a seed that I collected and tried to germinate, and nothing has happened there. So I am giving up. I'm giving up on these, besides this one, I think. I'm giving up on these carnations, you guys. If you watched my recent video, I'm having trouble with these carnations, so I'm giving up on that. But let me show you what is looking good, are the Snapdragons. So you can see I need to go through and thin these out. So in order to get the best, I don't know, the best, not germination, because these are all germinated, but to give these the best chance, you can see I overseeded. So I've got, in one little cell pack, I've got multiple. So what I need to do is come in and either like pinch off some of these multiples, or I can try to divide them. And I think with some of these bigger ones, I'm gonna try to divide them. So these are all Snapdragons. Snapdragons, I mean, they're gorgeous. They're looking so good. And then Snapdragons. So I think what I'm gonna do is take these out to the greenhouse today and divide them up, because you don't want them crowded like this. And then also I think I'm gonna pot them up a little bit bigger. Here are all my geraniums, and they are looking so good. So these are all from seed, and I did up pot them, and I've been fertilizing them, and they are just doing really, really well. So this is my other plant rack that I have grow lights attached to. So you can see I have this whole tray of geraniums, and they're just, I mean, they're so gorgeous. They're looking so good. And then I have this tray. So two trays there. And again, I have them propped up on boxes so that they're closer to the light, although I could probably drop them down pretty soon. So yeah, those are looking really good, but I need to go out and do some more seeds today. All right, I'm out here in my greenhouse. I just wanted to show you my sweet peas. So I have two different kinds of sweet peas here, and I did up pot them from the little Amazon starter pots that I have. These are my, you know, my little ones, these pink ones that I've been using. Anyway, a couple days ago I up potted them, and I staked them up with a little bit of this Velcro material and just some wooden stakes. And get in there, stake. They're doing really well. I would say they've grown another inch or so since I up potted them. And I also have some winter sowing jugs that have some sweet peas in them. So it's the first time I've ever grown sweet peas. I'm super excited about it. So today I'm gonna get in my little seed box here and figure out, I know this is one of them. So these are one of the brand new seed packets from Floret that are her, you know, varietals that she has bred. So I'm super excited. I've never grown Celosia. And then I've got a couple others. I will say though that the carnations that I've had so much trouble with were from Floret as well. So I think I'm going to contact them and just tell them my experience, just because I can't foresee what I did wrong. I'm also going to be starting this one here. This is from Baker Creek, the Gomphrena. And then I'm going to be starting some, what was the other thing, you guys? I have to look back. Oh, any Scabiosa. So this is some Black Knight Scabiosa from Johnny's from last year. I still have a few seeds left in there. And then do I have another Scabiosa from this, a new one for this year? I know I'm going to be sowing my stock pretty soon. Do I have another Scabiosa? Maybe that was the one I was thinking of. Snapdragons. Those are the ones I've already sowed. Anyway, I gotta look through here and see if there was something else. But yeah, I'm gonna get going on these today. Nasturtium, no, that wasn't it. And then I might look through some of my seeds, my collected seeds, and see what I can come up with and if I can sow any of those. And then this is going to be my other task, is thinning and trying to separate some of these little babies. I might end up pinching some, but I'm hoping I can expand how many I have here of the Snapdragons, because I love Snapdragons. They're so amazing. Just a quick update. I did do this little terrarium about 2 weeks ago, and it's just doing really, really well here in the greenhouse. So that's been really good. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get going on these planty projects today. Here I do have a couple buds on this geranium. This is one that I overwintered in the greenhouse, and it's going to bloom. I'm super excited. Back at my seed starting calendar, it's Bells of Ireland is the other one I'm going to try starting today. So these 4. Probably just going to do 1 tray of each, and we will see how it goes. I don't have a ton of growing room, and I only have 2 heat mats. So let's get started. All right, so I sowed some seeds. Now is kind of the harder task, which is going to be to separate and up pot some of these Snapdragons. So let me just show you the root system here. So you can see these are ready to get out of these nursery pots. Also, they are in seed starting mix, which does not have any nutrients for these plants. So if I don't do something soon, I'm going to lose all this hard work that I've put in. So you can see ones like this, there's only like 1 in there, but most of them have multiples. So what I need to do is either pinch off parts that are really too small and not, you know, not that great, or if I have like this one, I have 3 that look pretty good, maybe I could try to separate. These are pretty small for separating, but I can give it a try. What I've prepared here is just 4-inch pots. These are just nursery pots that I'm reusing, and I'm not putting them in seed starting mix. I'm putting them in regular potting soil. And I also have this cute little dauber thing that I got when I got those seed sorting trays, which I will link for you. And it's actually really handy. It's just like this little, you know, I've also used a paintbrush or like a little mini shovel or something, but I'm just going to kind of prepare my soil here. I'm working with wet soil, and then I'm going to carefully try to separate some of these out and up pot these and possibly pinch a few. So here goes nothing. I'm a little, you know, it's like one of those things. It's like, these are my babies. I don't want to pull them out of here, but I know that overall it will be better for these little plants. So just got to be really careful. Oh my goodness, they're so sweet. Look at these. Okay, so the question is, can I separate some of this? And the answer is I can, but I'm not sure how successful I'll be. But if I am successful, so like one like that, I'm gonna sacrifice. But if I am successful, think of how many more Snapdragons I will have for friends or family. I even thought of like maybe setting up a little roadside stand and selling some this year if I have an excess, or maybe just using myself, I don't know. So if I can, you know, increase my amount here, since I did have really good germination. I grew Snapdragons last year as well, and they just were a really good performer for me for most of the season. They did get a little bit of like powdery mildew at the very end of the season. So like, I think I'm gonna sacrifice that one. This one's got a great root system. Anyway, but they overall, they did really good in my zone 8. And they were just beautiful, and they're beautiful as cut flowers. So I want to try to get as many Snapdragons in my cut flower garden this year as possible. So that's the other reason I'm, you know, doing this step here, to try to get as many as I can. Now, another thing I would suggest is I can't do this with gloves on. I have to use my fingers. So I do like to have just like a little hand towel or something, because I don't want to get, you know, the wet soil like up on top of all the leaves if I can help it. So it's definitely like one of those processes that's gonna take a minute. I have these great little tools that are helping me, but it's also very therapeutic, and just getting my hands in the dirt. And it's really a rainy morning, so I know that like thinking about these beautiful flowers I'm gonna have eventually, it's really satisfying. It's really satisfying to sow your own seeds and grow your own plants. So if you haven't tried it yet, I would say give it a try. All right, I'm gonna keep going here. First tray done. This one is kind of an experiment. I'm not really sure. In fact, I might pop one more in the middle just to, because I have these little baby ones, and like, I don't know if they're going to do anything. Some of them, like, I can kind of tell I broke off the main root. I'm going to try to pop this one down here because it's got a pretty good root system. Anyway, I'm probably just making more work for myself later with some of these smaller ones, some more work for myself when, you know, that one comes ready. But yeah, these are going to be good. Now I have to be careful with watering these. Sorry about my dog barking. I have to be careful about watering these because this is a much bigger container, and so I don't want to, you know, I don't want to do too much water on these. And I think the other thing I'm going to do is, now that they're in bigger pots, I don't have a lot of room indoors for them, so I'm going to start keeping these out of my greenhouse, and that will do two things. It will help harden them off a little bit because my greenhouse is a little bit cooler than inside my home, and also it will, you know, just give me more room inside for more of my baby seedlings that I'm starting. I mean, these are baby seedlings, but you know what I mean, the ones I just sowed. So these ones can kind of live out in the greenhouse. I am lucky enough to have a greenhouse so that I can do something like that and try it out. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead, and you can see I still have quite a few more of this variety. These are the Snap Tall Deluxe. Let me see if I can find the picture here for you. So it's these ones. Love, 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 love these. So these are from Baker Creek. Really good germination. And you can see I overseeded and I got like excellent germination. So I'm going to try to utilize all these. So I'm going to work on my next tray. And this one's flopping over. Get in there, dude. Get in there. All right. Also, if you're interested in seed starting, I would suggest keeping, you know, a stash of these little 4-inch pots, and any of the trays you get from the gardening center. I always hang on to these, especially if they're plastic, because it really helps to be able to move different trays of things around and have them all grouped together. I also use just the cardboard boxes that come from the garden centers. You can see I've already put the ones I just sowed in a big cardboard box. So hang on to that stuff, reuse it. It comes in really handy when you're doing seed starting. I'm going to go ahead and fill the rest of these up. So I would say, you know, starting seeds it is a lot of work. It's more cost effective. It is really fun because you can grow like different varieties. I just dumped out this dirt. You can grow different varieties than you'd be able to find like in the grocery store. This is only my second year doing cut flowers from seed, and I've definitely learned a lot, but I'm still learning. Like I had those Gomphrena, or not Gomphrena, but the those ones that didn't germinate like at all, even after my second attempt. So definitely still learning, but I guess if you're gonna do it, I guess one of my pieces of advice would be like, don't overdo it, at least to begin with, because what happens is you have all these seedlings that come up, and then you have to start doing stuff like this. You have to be like, okay, well, what's next here? You know, do I pinch these? Do I pot these? Are these ready to go outside? Then you have to harden them off and make sure you don't just throw them outside. So it is like a labor of love. Like it's a labor of like, I'm a crazy plant person, basically. I mean, I feel like this is beyond love. This is like, I'm a little kooky. I don't know. That's my take on it. But everyone has their own hobbies, right? So like, if this is your jam, then this is your jam. This is kind of my jam, or at least has been for the past couple years. So who knows, maybe in the future I will just be like, I'm over it. I definitely, by the end of like seed sorting season, I'm definitely over it, and I'm ready to get these in the ground, and I'm like, I'm never doing that again. That's how I felt last year. I'm like, I'm not doing that again. That was way too much work. But yet here I am putting these little babies to bed here, trying to grow cut flowers. So anyway, just realize it is an intense process, and just getting them to germinate is not the end of the story. It's just the beginning, actually. So word to the wise on that topic. A couple other things. I am not going to be watering these in because I'm working with such wet soil today. I will wait for a couple days, and that will also help. You know, the roots have been disturbed pretty badly now, and I want to just let them do their thing for a couple days before I worry about, I'm going to add a little bit more dirt to this pot before I worry about watering them. That's just a personal preference. I mean, do what you will, but I feel like I'm going to give them a day or two. It's damp enough here in Oregon that this won't dry out that fast, especially in my greenhouse. And then also at some point, I will need to pinch these. So pinching basically means you take off after they get about 3 sets of leaves, you take off one of those sets of leaves, and that will help with additional branching of snapdragons, because otherwise you'll just have like kind of one, you know, you'll have one stalk coming up with one flower on the top. But if you pinch it, that will branch, and then you'll get more plants that way, more flowers. So anyway, just a couple things on that. These are looking pretty good. And if you look over here, like, I haven't sacrificed very many. Also, the reason that I am sacrificing some is that you want to have, you know, basically you want to have one in a pot, because these are going to grow, they're going to get big. And if you have a bunch of little ones, they're just going to compete for nutrients and root space. So anyway, that's part of my philosophy here, as well as I'm trying to put maybe 2, but mainly just 1 in a pot. And I kind of did these as 2 because I'm not sure they'll both survive the transplant, and later I could separate them as well because they both had a root system. So ones like this that you break off the root system accidentally, those are the ones you can't do much with. This one I could still pot because it's got some roots. So anyway, I'm definitely getting a lot of this varietal, so I'm going to move these aside and keep going. All right, so this was the end of this little tray, and you can see I didn't lose too many. I did have to sacrifice some. I tried to kind of go through these and see, you know, if they had a viable root system and the leaves were still intact. I did some that are kind of doubled up because they're just so small, you guys. I mean, it's hard to do when they're this tiny. But, you know, I did lose some, but not too bad, not too bad. So let me show you in totality what I got from this one tray of seedlings to potted 4-inch pots. I love this mat for cleaning up. Look at this. Dun, 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 dun. And it's gone. So easy for cleanup. Okay, so here's what I ended up with. So one little cell tray here of my snapdragons turned into this tray. So there's a couple of them that have 2 in there, and then also this tray. So these are the Tall Deluxe. Some of them I did 2 just because I didn't know if they're, you know, I don't know if all of these are going to survive. In fact, I'm sure some of them won't, but they're pretty hardy. So hopefully they will. Hopefully ones that are looking a little bit bigger will, you know, they'll do pretty good. But you can see how quickly space fills up, and then these 2 as well. Space fills up pretty fast when you're sowing something this small. I mean, I did overseed, and I think that's because snapdragon seeds are so tiny, it was hard not to. But I still have this tray to do, which is the same variety, and I have this tray to do. These ones I might wait on a couple days just because they're a little smaller. I really want to be looking for ones that are, you know, developing that kind of that second set of leaves. Like that one there looks perfect. So anyway, I might try to get this one done today, but I've been in the greenhouse now for about half hour, 45 minutes. Here's all my ones I sowed today that I'm going to take inside and water in and get on the heat mats and all that. But you can see it's, you know, takes some time and energy. So those are all these. And then I also did a tray of these. I need to go find these because I'd like to up pot some of these so that I have, you know, both kinds that I sowed, at least a couple trays. And so maybe I'll wait on this particular tray and let these get a little bit bigger and go find the other varietal. I'm sure it's inside. I probably didn't grab it because it's probably not quite as big, but since I'm up potting, I might go look at it and see. Now, the other thing you could do, you guys, if you didn't want to spend all this time separating, is you could just go through and thin these out. So you could pick the one that's the tallest and just go through and pinch the other one off and let it stay in here a bit longer. The only problem with that is that, you know, the roots are starting to want more space, and this is, again, not a nutrient-rich soil. So I prefer to go ahead and up pot them as soon as I feel like I'm able to handle them without them, you know, breaking apart too badly. And, you know, that will give me bigger plants in the long run. So anyway, guys, I hope that you enjoyed checking out my seedling update today, and also up potting some of my Snapdragons. And that's gonna be about it for me today. I've got some other videos that I'm working on getting out for you guys. I've got all new garden beds that my husband built for me that I'm working on getting that video out. And then another video about some pots that I planted up yesterday. So I definitely have some things in the works. It's a busy time of year, I feel like, for me, you know, personally, but also in the garden, especially when I'm doing all this seed starting. So it's really fun, but it's also kind of time consuming. So if I don't have as many videos coming out more recently, I apologize. My goal is to try to have 3 videos a week. Right now I'm more at like 2 a week, but I'm gonna try to, you know, share what I'm doing with you guys. It does take a little extra time and energy to do that, rather than just to go out and do stuff, to film it and edit it and all that. But it's also really fun, and I hope that you are learning something from my channel and about my experience with seed starting this season. And yeah, so thanks for tuning in. If you like the video, like and subscribe, and if you need me, I'll be hanging out in my yard. See you later. Bye.